Hi, my name's Nahida Breeze Hernandez, and I wanted to make a video to talk about the usability testing that my colleague did for me for my course that I am implementing for my team that I support. So, first of all, I selected a peer that I knew was going to be super thorough. I am very appreciative of my colleague who did a very fantastic job. I selected Adiola Adaby to be my first usability tester. She's a pre-calculus teacher. And she is an amazing thought partner and collaborator. And I believe I chose the right person because she leads in everything she does with integrity. I knew Adiola would be honest, thorough, and not hold back in giving me feedback. I also value her knowledge in all things digital realms and technology. She's my go-to person when I need assistance in anything related to tech. So in the future, I would like to consult a usability tester at the design phase of my course and brainstorm ideas on which design would work best for the target learner. This would help me establish and align resources that would be most effective and accessible for the platform I'm going to use. So, just a little bit about the criteria that I gave my tester is number one was I wanted to know if the objective of the course was clear. Two, I wanted to make sure that each activity for the module was clear. Three, I wanted to talk about if the resources were properly aligned to uh, the resources were appropriately aligned to the activities. And four, did the links all work properly? Five, does the structure of the course flow? And then six, I wanted just her general feedback. So as you can see here, the LMS that I chose is Schoology. Schoology is a fairly new LMS for our district, but it was super easy for her for my usability tester to access the course. I gave her the access code and she was able to enroll in the course. It was super helpful to hear her feedback around some of the things that I did not think were like a big deal, but through her lens, which she was the learner, I can see how impactful those details were. For example, she named the inconsistent fonts and formatting and how confusing it could be for learners because when I bold something and then I don't bold it on the next section, it's just inconsistent on whether it's important or not for the learner. So that's something that I am going to change. Um, so another thing that I am glad that she gave feedback on was all of the videos and links and external resources. There was some Google Docs that she did not have access to, so that's something that had slipped my mind. So I'm making sure that I give her the proper access to all of the documents. In addition, she suggested I download certain files that I download certain files instead of adding the links. Her rationale was that it was a more user friendly approach. And I want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to ensure smooth navigation for my learners. So I will ask their preference and what they deem as more accessible. So, um, for instance, like um, the URL here, right? So, like URLs and links that I added. For them to be embedded into the LMS. And that's something that I have to see if the LMS even has the capacity to do. So I will get with my IT person. Um, Another thing that she gave feedback and that I'm going to change is the discussion questions format. So in some of the discussion questions, I ask like a lot, like several questions in bullet form, like here, and then I give like a one area for to answer. So she suggested that it could be if I want, in order for me to reference it more efficiently, for me to break each and every one of these into discussion post. So that's something I'm actually going to do. And then what's another thing she added? She added so she was very pleased with the assessments and the alignments of the assessments were aligned very clearly to the course and their objectives. And since this is a non-graded course, the added grade book feature serves the accountability purposes, which she gave props on. Um, So adding a usability tester in the future would be super helpful in the design process, like I said earlier. But also, I would like to add a usability tester to my course. So that's something that, based on all of this feedback and based on based on her video, and then just her being familiar with it, I could see how beneficial it would be if I had a usability tester enroll in my course along with my peers and the other stakeholders that are going to take this test. So that would mean she would be like like a facilitator assistant. I can brainstorm and make changes in real time for when scenarios were to arise. Um, she would serve as a course assistant. This added feature will also help support learners, as they will have two key people that are familiar with the navigation of the course and the infrastructure. This, in addition to the IT support, would really enhance the quality experience by having a peer mentor as a resource for my learners. This process overall um, has given me more confidence in my facilitating abilities. Now that I have had someone review the course, I understand what things are most essential to the learner, what things are most needed for them to be successful. I believe that my course will even be more successful with each usability test. So I will apply these changes and then compare feedback from the first feedback video to the second. And so I'm excited to get all of the changes implemented. Which are subtle for the most part. It's more about formatting and like making sure I'm consistent with all of the spacing and things like that, my headers. That way, learners have a very clear direction. But all of the links work. All of the discussion posts are very consistent for each model. So yes, I'm excited about the launch of our course. Thank you.